thank you Smartex, and thank you for the invite, and here it is. So climate change is my current obsession, omniscient thought. We all, especially of our age, have seen how our surroundings have changed and are changing, and we have experienced improvement in our lifestyles, though we also need to question the word improvement itself, because the rider is for whom is it improved. So I hope this is provocative enough, Tanmay, and I just want to make it a lot more, what do you call it, as it goes. This is what we see, this improvement is a very short time gain. Probably in the last 30 years we have gained this, and it's for a privileged few, like the company I'm keeping now, and it's not cynicism or it's not directed at the company itself. I'm very happy with these friends, but it's a dilemma for a large community, large part of the humanity now, and a larger one for the ones who are coming in the future. I'm always worried about what my granddaughter will receive of what we or I end up using. My presentation is a work in progress, influenced by the current scenario, our profession, readings from various writers and thinkers. So I was given this topic as Earth, and probably it's because BIOME has been working with Earth from a long time. I would also say that it's been kind of a pioneer. So yes, it pays heed to what we do. I think the use of Earth is passive. It's over. Or calling it something new, it's over, especially in our country. We must be having more than 500 practices which have been using Earth. So Sujata, there is a huge scale difference happening. About a month or month and a half back, met Sanjay Puri, who's using Earth blocks. So different scales of offices. I wish more scales of offices would use and would call it the local and the real material to be used, and it should be used most proudly in India, rather than the kind of materials we are using and calling it proud and being Indian. So that is cynicism for you. So I'm really happy about that, and there are lots of designs which are coming up. So this is what we have done, about 1,000 projects, most of them in Bangalore. We're very lucky that we were in Bangalore. It's a lovely city. 30 years back the practice started. It's a city with open mind, where we could build with Earth, because we were in an ecosystem which helped us. So the school, the Indian Institute of Science, Baker's Legacy, all that, and really small projects, sometimes as small as a classroom. And very happy to see that in 30 years time too, the classroom remains. We changed the roof, which we do good, and the water tank. So different scales of projects we did, and we've enjoyed. But then, those are projects. But what's happening in terms of our future, which is what the climate change or the topic, the overarching topic is. So here I'm not going into any projects, and we just think you see what were the planetary boundaries. The Stockholm Environmental Institute has worked on it. In 2009, it was only looking at 7 boundaries, and 3 were crossed. 2015, 4, 2023, 9 boundaries. They've expanded boundaries, but 6 crossed. And where do we fall into in terms of these boundaries? It's at the novel entities space. Novel entity space is where humans created environment. And this has been very interesting input I got from an exhibition I saw in Helsinki, where this is an artist, Jenny Nordberg, who says that per person, 16 lakh 500, I don't even, kilos of goods would be transported per person. But that's not per person, that's not the driver who brought us uses. It's just very few, but it gets spread per person. So imagine some of us are using probably 10 times this. Kilograms of goods which were transported just for 1 kilometer. This is your provocation, Tanmay. But as architects, how do we address the novel entities? And where do we fit in? So we fit in into the aspiration category, we fit into the society and environment. But climate change, what is it leading to? It's the heat. This is what we will encounter in Asia and especially South Asia, the excessive heat. Dipendra Prasad has shown us the way forward of insulation is needed so that to reduce the operation energy. So that's for what's happening inside. But a lot of people, because of the way our buildings are not able to do their work for simple, decent life, for wages itself, and the overshoot of biosphere. What is overshoot of biosphere? Would be the way we live on the plains and then we have brown snow, black snow on our hills. And then we have also heard how Gulmarg didn't even have snow on its ski slopes now. It's all very recent and it's all our novel entities creating these issues of shoe. So can a building really address? And we have seen lots of examples. Really happy to see these examples and that it brings in a smorgasbord of choices. And yes, everybody has their philosophical construct too folded within the design, but it's very nice to see that in India we are developing these large choices, and most importantly, I feel that it is here that India will be a pioneer, than going back to some cultural, mythological past. But in India, through its introduction, through its challenges, which it's facing through the climate crisis, and it has to address this new kinds of solution, whether it is like Sonali's just looking at how much time you take to travel, to insulation, to thinking of cities, walkable cities, etc., different things, is where India could show the world what should be the ideal future. So, and that is the systems change, is that you have to, at this moment of time in India, have to be global. You have to really not go back to the past and glorify the past, that, oh, we made this wonderful temples and they were just great and that is what is the future like. We should imitate temples in our new buildings. Or, we made this lovely bungas and earth buildings and that's how the future would be. It is a combination of science, it's a combination of learning from past, but we have to learn from the future and we have to act for the future. And that is what we have to build if we have to have a future on this planet, and especially India. Just a year back, there was this newspaper article which said, by 2030 or 2037, Indians will be buying one air conditioner every 15 seconds. And it was shown as an opportunity for business. It's very interesting. We went back and studied the kind of HVAC solutions which are coming up, the kind of small ACs which are coming up. 10 years back, ACs wouldn't run on inverters. Now you have ACs which run on inverter. So the business is always improvising. It knows about climate change. It knows about what will be needed. Are we architects keeping pace with it? I think we are keeping pace if we are learning for the future. So yes, it was all told, and I think Dipinder's work showed much more than what I could do. So there is low embodied energy required, low operation energy, but it's no waste stream, not no waste stream. You have to have absolutely zero waste in the buildings and embrace biodiversity, without which there is no future. So every part of the design should have permaculture of solution. It should not be merely a space to reside or work, but it has to do much more. And much more are that we have to make our buildings cooler. In India, we have to make, if we have to have a future on this planet, the buildings have to provide for cleaner air, and buildings have to be waste sink. They take in the waste rather than create waste, because there is a proverb which says every new building is a waste of future. So possible materials could be earth, the debris, and now the various kind of resins which are coming up, various ways to bind. It's an interesting future, but market is going to expect that they have to be easily available, and that's what I would like really the magazines like Smartex should bring forward, but also put in the cost consciousness in terms of the ecological cost of the materials which are there in these magazines, and inform all stakeholders about it. So we use earth, but while using earth, sourcing earth is from the basement, so it's 22 degrees centigrade throughout the year, and different parts of the house is used at different times. Okay, and so earth could be used really beautifully, and this is shading with waste. Indian Railways louvers found at the Kabadi Wala in Bhopal and used as screens, and whether the building itself can be a quarry for the future. So it's a small project where every element of the building was studied and how it can be taken apart in future and reused either as the whole building or also as different elements. So then there's where BIOME went beyond using just earth for construction. Steel, paper, flooring with paver blocks, it's GI sheet with bamboo. And as architects, we also need to know construction, and it's not merely architects, it's also the engineers have to know construction, how to convey it at the site, and if possible to convey it in non-English terms. So this is a project we're doing in Madhya Pradesh where we're writing everything in Hindi, and we know how a village names its tiles, and it could be different, but the drawings are done that way, so that this is what Sujata go to scale, but a scale of a kind which is more people oriented than merely project oriented. So we have to in India make it that it's possible that we have skills which are transmitted to all, and through skill employment generated for life. Thank you.